She is a financial planner and advisor.
He's the founder and president of Zinnia Wealth Management. He's also a popular radio show host.
There's a way to have your money in the market and have protected growth.
This holistic approach will help people get to and through retirement.
Absolutely.
You have to change the way that you think. It's not about having these double-digit returns anymore. Things are changing, and you have to have an advisor that's keeping up with the changes.
Your outcome is going to become very desirable if you have some sort of coach helping you along the way.
And our next recipient from the Media and Communications XP, Charisse
Rivers.
Do not have to risk all your money in the market to survive, because it's about the retirement dream.
All righty. Welcome back to another episode of Retirement Coffee Talk. I'm your host, Charisse Rivers, President, CEO, and owner of Zinnia Wealth Management and creator of Zinnia U for all your educational needs. Our goal on Facebook Live every Thursday at 3:30 is to bring you up-to-date information. We're going to start with a market update, give you some education on what I think people should be working on now. It doesn't matter what age you are. And then we're going to have focus on somebody who did really good, something funny this week, and then question and answer section. And I just want to let you guys know I'm here to inspire, educate, and get you to retirement and beyond. So let's get started this week. Markets, whew, I don't know, they're all over the place. I think I said this last week, Groundhog's Day every day. I will tell you that when markets are bouncing up and down, you saw one day it was up 500 points, then down 500 points. It probably makes you all very sick to your stomach because you feel like you're having some leeway in the market and you're just like, okay, it feels good. Maybe I should buy more. Sometimes it's just good to wait a little bit. Let's see how it rebounds, especially since we're having this up and down all around. So be patient. I haven't received any calls this week, which I'm surprised from my clients about, hey, should I get in? Because it went down a little bit and they're thinking a lot of times people want to get back in. But sometimes it could have a lower down, right? The market could keep going down a little bit more. So I would rather you miss a couple of points moving upwards just to make sure we don't take another, 2 steps back. So be patient during these times of market volatility. This is going to be with us for a very long time. There was a lot of hope last week on, states opening up and having the easing, but jobless claims came out again today. Another over 2.5 million jobless claims. So we're really high up there. It's starting to worry people. And so let's talk about the stock market and what's going on here. So my goal is to give you a little bit of hope, inspire you, and at least as you're going through this time period of confusion and not sure what you're supposed to do or what you are supposed to do, my goal is to give you feedback on how to take advantage of times like this. So stay tuned, because last week I promised we'd really dive into Roth IRA conversions and contributions. So we're really going to go into that. And I really truly believe 90% of all people that are investing in the market should start considering this. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So let me give you a quick update. So Wednesday evening, stocks fell after trading hours because Federal Jerome Powell, the chairman, which we all hear lots from, sometimes good news, sometimes bad news, he stated, while economic responses have been both timely and appropriately large, it may not be the final chapter. Given the path ahead of us, both highly uncertain and subject to significant downside risk. So when the federal chairman comes out and says this, don't ignore it. This is not a time to ignore what's going on in the public. This is actually the time to take action, because you have this beautiful window of opportunity to start making changes in your portfolio if need be. And I say that only because let's go back to mid-March. Markets dropped almost 30%, and your portfolios dropped 30%, and now you're halfway back up and you're feeling pretty good. And the question is, could it drop another 20, 30? If you need to get out, now's the time to get out. But it's a blanket statement, because it's not cookie cutter. Not everybody should be getting out. Or maybe you should be hedging and saying, I'm going to pull some off the risk table and I'm going to park it over here. Oh, where should I park it in so I make some money in case, markets are being volatile for the next 2 years? So those are questions that I'm here to help you with. Okay. So make sure, you're sending your questions through as I'm talking, and Mikey on the other line, he's my producer. He'll kind of feed them through as we go through this. Mikey, can you put up the picture of Kramer, please? Okay, it is up. So what is very interesting here is the market is too optimistic. Do you guys see the picture there where you see at the very bottom, it says more than 16 million Americans have lost their jobs in 3 weeks. But at the top in green, it says the Dow's best week since 1938. Isn't it a little contradicting? And so there's a lot of false hope up there, unfortunately. And I wanted to show you that. And we know this is kind of, three weeks back from now. And, there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of confusion. You're thinking, well, why would that say Dow Jones best 3 weeks since 1938? But then we've lost 16 million jobs. And so I want you to know there's a lot of news. I watched Kramer for the first time last week, and he drove me crazy. And I maybe get to watch him once a year. If you don't know who I'm talking about, he's CNBC guy. He talks about what to buy, what not to buy. He'll drive you absolutely crazy and you'll stop watching after a while. But some of you actually might like what he has to say. But one day he started saying, oh, yeah, it's a good time to buy. Things are looking good. Things are moving because the market was going up. The very next day, I happened to catch it twice, which is unusual. The next day he says, this could be our second Great Depression. I went, you've got to be kidding. No wonder you, as an individual consumer, individual person in a market, is so confused on what to do. I was even confused. He even had me up on the day before. So I feel for the individual that is not in this and understands the fundamentals of what's going on in the market or the technical indicators that we're looking at on a daily. But don't let that confuse you. I want to let you know at this point, you have to take care of your own personal economy. That is first and foremost. And because Kramer says something doesn't mean you should do it. Because your neighbor Bubba says something doesn't mean you should do it, or your uncle Sam, you know what I mean? So let's just, Uncle Sam, we don't like Uncle Sam. So just make sure you're talking to somebody. Talk to your financial advisors. Ask them what you should do. If you don't have one, if you feel like they're just giving you smoke and mirrors anyways, give us a call. I will be happy to talk to you. If you have some questions, go ahead and put them on there. So I just kind of wanted to address that. It's very confusing, I understand, and the markets are being very rocky right now. And so just hold on tight. And when I have more guidance and more certainty, I'll definitely be able to give you more direction. So let's move forward. So there's some good news. Or possibly we have that HEROES stimulus package come through. Possibly we have $3 trillion possibly coming in for relief. So people might be getting a stimulus check again. We're not sure that's going to be 100% true. I hope so. That would be wonderful. And if you do get that money, I want you to go out to a restaurant and I want you to go out to eat at some company locally. And I want you to go tip your server really well. Let's put the money back in the economy as best as we can. I've talked to, schools and lots of people out there, and over 30 million jobs people just don't have. It is a scary time and the numbers keep crawling up. So let's do our best to get out. Wear your mask. I know, that's more unnerving than anything, but any way that you can help the local area would be just wonderful. I sent a check out to somebody. I found out one of the school teachers just recently had cancer, has been laid off now for a month, struggling. I sent them a check just out of my, goodness of my heart, because I just felt, sometimes we forget there's a lot of other people struggling out there, and that might be some of you. Some of you might be very blessed and you don't have that issue. So maybe give. I'm a big giver when it comes to that. So stimulus checks. Let's cross our fingers. It all works out. Just remember, we get stimulus checks. Guess what happens? We pay the piper later on, but sometimes the government has to do what they have to do. But that leads me to a question we had last week. Let me get back over here. Somebody asked a question, and I said I would look into it, about the stimulus checks. Is it going to be taxed? When is it going to be taxed? And basically what I came up with, and I'm reading it right now, it says, stimulus checks are not taxable income. The checks are structured as refundable tax credits. That is why even people who do not typically file tax returns qualify for these payments, according to the Tax Foundation of Think Tank. So far, so good. But the government, there could be a little loophole later on. If you were making money, maybe we'll get taxed. But right now, it looks like we're good on the stimulus checks. That was news to me, because I thought originally somehow it would come off taxes at some point. So wanted to give you an update there. All right, Trump news. Trump. Anybody on that Trump train still? I am, just so you know. He's doing a pretty good job. He's got a hard job ahead of him. Feel bad for the guy, but he's doing the best he can. But what he said, so we're ruffling some feathers here again. He said, Labor Department directed board in charge of federal retirement dollars to halt plans to invest in Chinese companies on Monday. What does that mean? That's going to be a ripple effect. China's not going to like it. Markets are going to be moving sideways, maybe even down, even more so. Many say the move would likely increase tensions between U.S. and China on their trade deal. So now we're back talking about this trade deal, and that's going to ruffle feathers for a while. So not only are we dealing with the virus, but we're also back to dealing with China and the trade deal, which is going to hurt. So like I said, we are not out of water yet. It's going to be a while before we see markets back to where they were. It could be 2 years. It could be 12 months. I will tell you, a lot of stocks that have just crashed and burned, I'm predicting before they actually come back to normal levels, it'll be somewhere around 2023 and 2024. Now, remember that. I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. But when I look at all the math, I mean, look at Delta, look at Southwest, look at American Airlines and Boeing. Boeing, you know, they're the mainframe for all these places. So I think it's going to be a few years before those get back to normal. So if you're buying those types of stocks, make sure you just hold them. And sometimes you got to fold them, right? Will American Airlines make it through this? I don't know. Nobody thought Bank of America was going to make it, and they made it. So there's always hope, but just be very careful where you're investing your money. It's a really tricky time. Okay, so we are going to move forward because I want to get into our next segment. It's called Education. It's our teaching segment, and I really want to hone down on Roth. There's so much I can talk about here, so I'm going to stay to my checklist because I can get on tangents. Before I get started, Mikey, is there any questions about the market? Anything like that? The new stimulus package could possibly give money to illegal aliens. Well, that's not a surprise. You have fake social security numbers. You have fake people out there using fake this, fake that. That is definitely a possibility. Unfortunately, I don't think we have complete control over that. We never have. I mean, think about it. It's been going on for years. It's definitely not going to stop now. So unfortunately, those things are out of our control. And yes, that money, without a shadow of a doubt, will be going to them because the government has not quite caught everybody. I think it's going to take a long time to figure out, how to clean up that system. But let's not worry about it. Let's just make sure the money gets to the people who it needs to get to. Okay. I try to keep those types of things out of sight, out of mind a little bit, because that's a whole another conversation that we have no control of. So I want to talk about things that we can control the best we can, and some things to be aware of ahead of time. Mikey, you have another question? Okay, let me get a swig of water. Go Gators. Okay, so Roth IRAs. Before I jump in here, I love Roth IRAs. I'm having clients convert IRAs to Roths all day long right now. If you're a client and you're watching and we haven't done it, please call me. And because I have lots of people to call, and it's just I can't call fast enough. So make sure we're talking about this. But let's talk about why a Roth IRA is so important. A Roth IRA, if you've had it for 5 years and you're 59 and a half and older, any returns, any interest that you earned on this Roth IRA is all tax-free. All tax-free. Most baby boomers out there and a lot of young people, everything's in the taxable bucket. That means everything is going to be taxed. And it's going to be taxed at the time that you're going to be retiring, and taxes are high because we have all these bailouts going on. So there's no better time than now to get a Roth. Any age. I want every age to consider it. I want everybody thinking about it. I want you to share this with your friends and your family and tell people to tune into this, because not enough people are taking advantage of this. There's not a whole lot of money to be made on IRAs, So a lot of advisors aren't saying, hey, let's convert this IRA to a Roth. Let's put cash here to there. But it doesn't matter. It's not about us advisors. It's about you and getting you to the destination of retirement and keeping as much dollars in your pocket as possible. So let me start with the beginning here. So the one thing that you could do is if you are under 59 and a half, you cannot convert IRAs to a Roth because you will have a penalty. But what you can do, if you're 50 and above, you can contribute $7,000 a year to a Roth IRA, okay? Now, if your income is too high, you can't, unfortunately. So there is a balance if you make too much income, whether single or married. And it's based on your modified adjusted gross income. But there's some other alternatives out there for people like you as well. So you can put $7,000 into a Roth IRA. Let's say you have a spouse that doesn't work. You can also put $7,000 into your spouse's new Roth IRA that we would love to help you create. Okay, so that's one way. Now, if you're under 50 years old, at any age, if you're under 50 years old, you can put $6,000 in a Roth IRA. But it has to be earned income. And so what I mean is, let's just say this is the year that you are 49 years old, and you know you can only contribute $6,000 to this Roth IRA, but because you got laid off and this and that, you only made $5,000 in earned income. Well, then you can only contribute $5,000. Okay, so you can only contribute what you earn up to a cap. So remember, if you're under 50, you can contribute up to $6,000, and over 50, you can contribute up to $7,000. Okay, and remember, we're talking about this because we want tax-free interest and income later on down the road. Now, let's talk about a rollover. Let's say you have an IRA and you want to roll it over to a Roth IRA. You need a way to do this to your 59 and a half. And you might say, Sharice, I've got $500,000 in my IRA or $1 million in my IRA. How much should I roll over now that I'm 59 and a half to a Roth IRA? And it will depend. I would have to see a tax return. I would have to see your income. I have to see a lot of things to say, okay, if we move $5,000 a year, this is what it's going to cost you in taxes. Because here's the deal. Roth IRAs are great, but when you roll an IRA to a Roth, what do you have to do? You have to pay Uncle Sam. You got to pay the tax bill. So some people say, Sharice, let me roll it all over right now, and they'll have $500,000 in IRA. I'm like, no, because you're going to give 40% back to the government. So we just want to do little pieces. We just want to add to your retirement puzzle, little pieces at a time, because you don't want to get hit with huge taxes. But now is the best time to do this. And why now is because taxes are all this all-time low. In 2025, taxes are going to expire. Taxes are going to expire, okay? And I have a feeling, I just have this hunch, yeah, definitely a pretty good hunch, with all this stimulus and all this that's going on right now, without a shadow of a doubt, that taxes are likely to go up. I'm going to tell you, if we get a Republican in office, they're going to go up slowly. If we get Democrat, we're in trouble, right? And I'm not saying to vote for one or the other. I'm just telling you this is probably the likely plan. Again, I'm predicting the future, but I'm forward thinking, and we're in trillions of dollars in debt, and now we're more than ever because of what's going on with trying to get money back in people's pockets and get people back to work. That it's not getting better, unfortunately, and timing is not on our side right now, unfortunately. And so I definitely advise maybe we roll over $5,000 from your IRA to your Roth, or maybe $10,000. I just had a client that rolled over $40,000 because they did not, and this was last year, they didn't have a job that year. They were just living off some cash in the bank. So we rolled over $40,000 and he didn't pay any taxes, which was a really cool thing. 0 taxes for the rollover. So you also take advantage of when your income's higher and lower. So the higher your income is, the more it's going to cost you to roll over the IRA to the Roth. So it's a timing thing. And this is why you want a financial advisor in your life, full time, all the time, that you can reach out and call. I haven't talked to this client in 2 years. They just moved a little bit of money with us a few years back, and they weren't ready to retire, but they knew me. We had their file. They felt comfortable. Hey, Sharice, I know it's been a while, but what do you think about this? And I looked at the math. They sent me their tax return. I went, there you go. And let me go ahead and do a disclosure. I'm not a CPA. I am not an attorney. I do not work for Social Security or Medicare. I know just enough to get me in trouble, okay? And that is based on my licenses. So I know just enough to tell you what you need to know. Any further details, I'll hook you up with my attorneys and my CPA. So that's my disclosure. And I need to make sure I disclose that on every Facebook Live event. So rolling your IRA to Roth. Let's say you have a 401k from an old employer and it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. Maybe it's time to start consolidating. Find a financial advisor locally. I would love it for me to be me, but I call these your orphan 401ks. Don't let it just sit there doing nothing. They're charging you a fee and they're not doing anything. Move it to an IRA. We can help you with that, and then we can roll it to a Roth. It won't cost you a dime to do this. That's the beauty of it. So use your resources, especially when they're coming to you at zero cost, okay? All right. And I know people I had somebody come in and say, Teresa, I have 4 employers at one time. I have 3 401ks. Can we just consolidate this? I'm like, yes, let's create a plan with it and consolidate it. They have an employer now that we decided to pick some funds in there that they're going to contribute to, and that's going to be their risky account. And, we're planning. Just don't let things go. It's so easy. We get so busy in our lives. Trust me, I'm famous for it. And we just don't want to forget that. Now, let's remember this. It says, discuss the strategy known for, no, we don't need to go over that. Sorry, I'm kind of ahead of myself here, guys. Okay. Now, how do you know if a Roth IRA conversion is a good idea for you? So anybody who knows Ed Slott, you know who Dave Ramsey is, you know who Susie Orman is, you know all these people, but Ed Slott is a big name too. He is Mr. IRA, Mr. 401k, Mr. Roth IRA. And he's been doing this for a long time. Advisors like me, we follow these people because they give such great advice, and there's always so much good wisdom. And just remember, not everything they all say is true, depending on your age and your situation. But even Ed Slott says, Roth conversions have always been a good idea for workers who expect their income tax rate and brackets to rise in retirement. I mean, a lot of people think when you retire, your taxes go down. Interestingly enough, taxes usually are the same, but for 50% of the people who come into my office, taxes are higher. So we're planning ahead of time for that. And you won't believe it, because now you got this provisional income formula you got to worry about with Social Security and other things on the horizon. There's always a new tax to people retiring. But it is interesting. People are usually more shocked than anything when that happens. Let's see what he says next. It says investors can hedge their bets by doing a series of annual Roth conversions rather than converting large chunks all at one time and or all to your 401k. So I kind of talked about this last week. We said, contribute to your 401ks up until your match. Some companies aren't even getting some people aren't even getting matches anymore because they had to cut costs a lot of these places. Some hospitals, I'm telling you, it's not looking too good out there. So that means put less in the 401k. Max out this Roth IRA as long as our income thresholds allow us to do this. And then if you have more money to save, then we go back to the 401k. And so what he was saying here, instead of doing it in one lump sum, put it on autopilot. Maybe just have it come out of your paycheck every month. Maybe do $250 a month or $500 a month up into your max for 12 months. And so it's a beautiful thing. But one thing I do want to show you, here is some math. I love doing math, and I want to explain this. So I'm going to take it a little slow, and I wrote it down to kind of stay it on course here. But let's say you have a $1 million IRA. And let's just say you invested in an S&P 500 mutual fund, and you converted the whole thing to a Roth IRA. The taxes you would pay on that $1 million from converting it from an IRA to a Roth will be $334,000. That's a lot of money. See, we don't do stuff like that. But I'm showing you the math of it because now is a good time. Let me explain what I mean by that. And that was 2 weeks ago. Let's just say this week, your $1 million dropped 10%. Okay. Now it dropped 10%. Your 1 million is down to 900,000. Now let's say you convert that 900,000 to a Roth IRA. Well, guess what? After looking at the math here, it says that your tax bill went down $41,000 or less, okay, based on the marginal tax rate here. So the question is do we start converting money from our IRAs to our Roths now, while the market might be a little higher than it was a month ago, or do we wait for the market to go down? No, I would actually start doing it now, because the market's where it's at now and the market continues to go down. You're going to pay less in taxes to roll it. And then you can take that money and you can put the money you're putting into Roth in the same funds. And now you're going to buy it at a lower rate. So you kind of got to time it a little bit. So please don't go alone on something like this. But if you save yourself $41,000 to do this, Doesn't it make sense to do the Roths now? We've been talking about this on my radio show. Remember, tune in every Saturday and Sunday, 97.3 The Sky and 99.9 FM. And we talk about this stuff because and then I repeat it because, it needs to be repeat because we forget some of this stuff. So there's no better time, in my opinion, to convert from an IRA to a Roth, okay? But we got to time it right. That's the big thing. Okay, last but not least, let's see what this says here. Interesting take from financial. Okay, so basically there was a financial advisor at North said basically about the lowest tax rates we've ever seen in the country. I think almost every single person should be converting money to a Roth account in 2020. Bold statement, and basically I agree. It says everybody, but it just says in 2020. 2020, there's no better time, just so you know. But I say until 2025, I say let's go the distance while taxes are lower, because in 2025, when taxes expire, I might not be saying let's convert any IRAs to a Roth, only because taxes could be 15% higher. And if that's the case, then does it make sense? You have to do the math. And so I wanted to get your tickers thinking here. If taxes go up, should we get a Roth? Yes or no? Was it better to get the Roth? The answer is yes. If taxes go down, is it better to get a Roth or stay in the IRA? Well, it would have been better to stay in the IRA. That was a bad move, Cherise. Thanks for the terrible advice. Well, I personally think I have a 99% shot that I'm correct that taxes are going to go up, and I'm pretty sure you guys think so too. Now, what if taxes stay the same? If taxes stay the same, should I have converted to the Roth or should I stayed in the IRA? And actually, it wouldn't have mattered. It was a hedge. So there you go. There's your answer. If it's a hedge, it stays the same, which is a possibility. You could do either or. But if it goes up, the taxes go up, then you should have moved some money. Okay? So we'll be happy to help you all with that. It's a really simple process for us because we do it all day long. But we wanted to give you some really good insight. Ed Slott, he's the master of Roths and IRAs, and he says, do it, do it, do it. Do not delay. And he says, do it now. Okay? And I do too. I just like to use these big guys because they're so smart. Okay. Any questions, Mikey, on the Roth IRA? Oh, thank you. I'm hearing people are saying it's a great show. Just so you know, I have to admit, I actually don't see all the stuff coming in. Mikey on the other line gives me the questions, and I go back through and look at who liked me and stuff like that. And I did that because if it's a client, I didn't want to get distracted. And if anybody who knows me, if I don't stay focused, I can get very distracted. So that's why I have Mikey on the other end. So I appreciate all the feedback, and I promise to get better at this as we go. And some of you know that I do travel a little bit. So sometimes I'm going to be taking this show on the road, so I won't have my pretty stuff in the background. I might have a hotel room or a beach scene theme, but I want to make sure no matter where I am at in the world, I can always do the show and provide you the most up-to-date information every Thursday at 3:30. And I promise it will be something different every week. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's do something doing good. I don't want to harp this much on this week. I really want to go through the Roth IRAs. I want to talk about some funny things that we saw this week. Client just texted me, I'm watching Facebook. So thank you. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I'm seeing it. Let's do something funny this week. So, Mikey, do you have our peacock paper picture up? Okay, you guys are probably wondering about this, and so I like to do something funny. It is this: we will never see pictures in time like this ever again in our life. You have two cops in the background with masks, and you have a peacock on a fence. So does everybody know that it is mating season for peacocks right now? And I want to read this to you guys directly if I can find it. Where did it go? Because it's quite interesting. Okay, I got to read this. I was cracking up. Literally, Mikey and I were just talking about it, and I'm dying laughing. This is the first time I saw it. And it says, a large peacock escaped the zoo in Boston. The zoo worker thinks it went outside the zoo looking for love since it's mating season. Police were called to help. They downloaded, talk about technology. They downloaded a peacock mating call to the cell phone. So just get the image, get the visual. there is a cell phone. The cops are running down the road with their masks, chasing a peacock with a peacock mating sound to gather the peacock to take it back to the zoo. I don't know. I haven't seen a video, but I have to Google it. I'm sure it's probably one of the most funniest things I will see this week. They used it to get the peacock back to the fenced yard and get them back to the zoo. So creativity, thank goodness for technology today. I'm looking at the picture, beautiful peacock, but I just couldn't help myself. Very good. So if anybody else got a chuckle from this, if there's a video, I got somebody send me the video. I'm sure somebody captured this on video. I just want to see them running after the peacock with this. I want to hear this noise. I don't even know what the noise sounds like. So, okay, next one. Something good news. I don't know if anybody knows who John Krasinski is. He is super funny, bright guy, all over television. I don't know if you have the picture up yet. It's not that big of a deal, but you might recognize him. He's the second face to the right at the top, and he has a show that says, YouTube show says some good news. And I caught this like a month ago, and it was really fantastic. And honestly, that was one of my, after watching it, I didn't tell Mikey this behind the scenes, but I watched this and I said, wow, I want to do something like that. You know, how can I give news, updated news and some good news? And then coincidentally, we use him as one of our good news things. But he always has 10 minutes of good news and what's going on from the cops and the fire departments. And tune in, Google John Krasinski Good News Show on YouTube. You'll love it. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're looking for something good and you're trying to get away from the TV and all this negativity in the markets, watch it. I look forward to it. But he had a wedding episode where there was a wedding, and they kind of did this enactment that was to Chris Brown's song, and they were dancing to it. And you guys can see some cast members from one of his shows, some famous people in here, so you might want to look it up. But good guy. If you're looking for something fun to watch, catchy, something across the United States, you want to see who's doing good, he's showing it. So tune into that. And like I said, I like to, you know, talk about people who are doing really cool things and hard times right now. So he's got, he really put something together that's super nice. So tune into that. Oh, I am so sorry because I told you that I had a baby horse born last week and I never posted on Facebook. So I just sent the text over to Mikey. I said, post it up. So I want to show you my baby horse. Is it up? Isn't he so cute? He was a month late. And I keep saying well, I'm so happy it was a boy, because we want him to go to the Kentucky Derby like everybody else does. But it's a good tax write-off, right? I know I have some horse people watching this like, So I'm really happy and excited about it. It's a new venture. I'm not getting too crazy with it. And if anybody's looking for write-offs, investing in horses is a great idea because you're almost guaranteed to lose. But it's fun and you're giving back to the community. And not always, okay? I have a really good horse person that promises me we'll make some money. And I said, whatever we make is going to all of our charities. We invest the principal back into more horses, and any interest, anything we make on these horses, just so you know, it's going to my churches and all my charities. That is all that money is going to. It will not be going to my pocket. And so just another way for me to give back and have some fun with it too. Either way, I donate anyways, but it just put more money in their pocket. Everybody knows I'm a philanthropist, and I just, as many people as I can help in this world, I will. I really would. And so who knows what will happen with that down the road. One thing I forgot to tell you, we had a question last week. It said, what can we expect regarding property taxes next year? And I was pretty right on. So let me read what I actually Googled later. It says, somebody said, are property taxes going up or down? I said they could go up because taxes historically go up. But because of all this volatility in the market and real estate market going down, they're probably going to lower it because housing values go down and they want people to continue to buy. But this is exactly what I found. Some articles are saying there is a possibility of property taxes going down near next year since the property taxes are based on home values assessed value. If your home value goes down, then it seems that property taxes would too. That's the bottom line. We don't know at this time, but when you do the math and you look at history, we want people to continue to buy, and we might not be in a buying movement here in the next couple of years. And so we'll see what happens. But then the government likes to just throw us through a surprise, and they're thinking, we need more money. We need more money going to our states and local communities, so we're going to up it. And you never know, never put it past the government, because look at what happened with the Secure Act. The Secure Act is really important for people who are in retirement. And next week, I'm going to dive into the Secure Act, okay? Today, I want everybody to know that if you go to zinniawealth.com, I have a section called Education, and there's guides. And in there, there's a tax guide. And it will really help you figure out taxes a little bit, but it will tell you what your income thresholds are. If you have a Roth and you want to contribute more, can you or can you not? So use those guides on zinniawealth.com because they'll definitely help you. We make it very simple in layman's terms, and anybody can follow it. So, and we have other guides, a volatility guide. We also have a Secure Act guide. I will be talking about that next week. Okay. Any questions right now, Mikey? He has a nieces 10 and 20. He wants to know what the best company is to open a Roth IRA. I would definitely go with the ones that are giving free trading and the small amount of cost. So when people come to us and they want to open Roth IRAs for kids or 529 plans, we use Fidelity, Schwab, TD Ameritrade. We use all those custodians, just depending on what the client's needs are. And they all are a little bit different. Maybe give me a call. Right now, I would probably use Fidelity, but there's particular funds in Fidelity I would use and not use. So if you give me a holler or send me an email or send a submission through zinniawealth.com, I can help you in more detail there, because you just want to make sure and make sure for the Roth, what is that Roth for? Is that long term, or is it for college education, or is it for a wedding? A client just texted me and says, I feel like a peacock, the peacock. I don't know what that meant, so I don't even want to know. But I will say it depends. So it's hard for me to give you a cookie cutter answer, but if you're just going to go alone and you don't want to contact us, I do want to give you something to go on, and I'd probably look at Fidelity first. You can trade for free. They're only going to charge you $50 annually for an account there per account. If it's IRA money, it's usually, I think, $120. I'll have to double check what they've changed. But you can buy and sell all you want if you're going to buy stocks and that kind of thing, and then sell them inside these Roth at no cost. Schwab does that too. I think I prefer Fidelity over Schwab and TD Ameritrade. It's so much more flexible, and I use them all, okay, personally and for clients. And there's a reason for that. If you want to know kind of the glitches and why, just reach out to me on that. But I'm glad you're doing that. But if it's for education, we probably need to focus more on a 529 plan. And I promise we'll maybe talk about 529s, and you put this down for next week. 529s in the Secure Act. I think that'd be very valuable. Mikey, another question? Yes, great question. So somebody asked, if I go ahead and contribute to my Roth IRA, and let's say you're over 50, you can contribute $7,000, and the non-working spouse, you can contribute another $7,000, is $14,000. Can I also roll over IRAs to a Roth? Yes, you can. You can roll over as much as you want. Uncle Sam would be happy to take your money. So you can max out your earned income contributions, and then you can roll as much as you want from your IRA to your Roth. And let me just go ahead and put this out there. If you have a 401k, see if they have a Roth 401k. That could be very valuable too. A lot of companies really are going to that. And just remember, the portion that the company contributes won't be the Roth. It'll be more of an IRA 401k part, but the part you contribute to inside those accounts is going to be the tax-free Roth part. So you might be able to get two accounts at the same company. So start asking your employers on that. I say always work with a financial advisor locally first and get the $7,000 to $6,000 a year in first before you go to those companies, especially if they're not matching. And then if we have anything left over and you want to contribute more, then we'll kind of look at what they have, because you have minimal choices, minimal options in those 401ks, and you're limited. And it's so aggravating for me, because the client will bring me, hey, this is what I have in my 401k, Sharice, what should I invest in? I get 30 options. I'm like, really? story of my life. So I try to pick the best, but that's why if we have a Roth IRA with us at our accounts and we're managing it, I have sky's limit. I have access to 30,000 different funds. And now you have a financial advisor that you can have a plan with. Doesn't matter how young you are. And the younger you are, the better. Remember, it's to get you to retirement and beyond. And I know we have 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds and 70-year-olds listening to the show. So I try to keep it more broad spectrum. But everybody can use this information. If you're retired, you know you can give this to your grandkids, which one day I would just love to talk to you about how to best way influence your grandbabies on how to invest. And it's very, very fun. And my clients just adore the fact that we do this and help them do that. And I actually learned it from a client of mine actually years ago. So I'm going to write that down too. Teaching grandchildren how to invest. Okay. Number one, start them on Dave Ramsey Financial University. They have a kids version. They'll learn really quickly things they need to do and start practicing. So if you haven't done the Dave Ramsey class, I would highly recommend it. Okay. I used to be an ELP with Dave Ramsey. I was so busy I couldn't take all the customers anymore. So I really had to stop it. But I just believe in his theory. Let's get out of debt. Let's be smart. Let's have a savings account, you know. And so that's one thing I'm a big fan of, and I'm sure a lot of you are too, and that is why you are where you are today. And if not, Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University, it's $100. It goes a long ways. Okay, I think I touched on just enough today. Mikey, how long have we gone? 41 minutes. I'm going to cut it short today. Lucky you guys. Okay, so again, next week I'm going to bring to the table the Secure Act and 529 plans for your grandkids. And don't forget, this week, go ahead and download that tax guide on my website, zenniawealth.com. If you have any questions, if you're looking for a second opinion and you're just not sure what to do or how to do it with all this volatility, if you feel like something deep down inside is like, I need to talk to Sharice. And even if you're my client, it's been a couple months. You know me, I'm easy to get a hold of. I'm working all mornings and hours of the night. Give us a call. Go to the website, submit some information. We'll be happy to help you. But now, more than ever, is the best time to start strategizing, because if the market dives another 30%, I have a plan for you. And if it doesn't, I still have a plan for you. Not that I know what's going to happen, but that's how it works. So let me close up here. What do I got here? Remember, share this with your friends and family. You can just post this on their Facebooks. Tell them to tune in. Anybody can tune in. Anybody who's watching, we do send some recordings out just to remind you of that we're doing this. If you ever want to opt out, just call my office and let me know. We have one other thing. It's one of my favorite things. It's called the Little Red Book to Retirement. You can also go to our downloads and download that. 37 pages. It talks to you about estate planning, contributions, taxes, a little bit of everything, just to get your whistle wet. And I highly, highly recommend it. And if you need a second opinion, I'd be pleasured and honored to help you. Again, live by design and not by default. Thank you for your time and tuning in. Thank you for the feedback. If you think of anything that you really want me to hit on next week, put the information in there. I'll check out the comments tonight when I have some downtime after my kids go to sleep. Okay, thanks so much, and tune in next Thursday at 3:30.
She is a financial planner and advisor.
He's the founder and president of Zennia Wealth Management. He's also a popular radio show host.
There's a way to have your money in the market and have protected growth.
This holistic approach will help people get to and through retirement.
Absolutely.
You have to change the way that you think. It's not about having these double-digit returns anymore. Things are changing, and you have to have an advisor that's keeping up with the changes.
Your outcome is going to become very desirable if you have some sort of coach helping you along the way.
And our next recipient from the Media and Communications Expo, Sharice
Sharice Rivers.
Do not have to risk all your money in the market to survive, because it's about the retirement dream.